Man with 5.5-inch horn growing on his back slipped through the net. Welcome aboard, friends and family. This is the second week of the Offbeat. Is this going to be a weekly show? Maybe. We'll find out. We had a lot of dark stories last week, most of which you can see on my Patreon. The $5 and up tier, you can see the exclusive stories, which you'll understand why I didn't include them. Boy, they're dark. Woof. It's just hard to make vicious tragedy funny, as I'm discovering. But this is a learning experience for all of us, so let's keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on into this bad boy and find ourselves some good bad news. Welcome to the Offbeat. Okay, roll that beautiful beam footage. One thing that I think I didn't make clear before was that I'm discovering these stories at the same time you are. So I'm reading these titles for the first time, most of the time, as you're hearing them. A lot of my sources are being aggregated thanks to a subreddit named Offbeat, which was originally going to be a temp name, but I just love the way it sounds. But I want to give credit to them because I'm not just here to not do any work at all. That's not my mission. However, I am doing less work than I should. So we're going to continue doing that. Man with 5.5-inch horn growing on his back slipped through the net. This is from arstechnica.com. Man with 5.5-inch horn growing on his back slipped through the net, docs say. I'm trying to picture what this story is about before reading it. And to me, this feels as if we're saying this guy is part Triceratops and he is disappearing into the internet like a Tron situation. And they lost him? Yo, whoa. I just scrolled down without reading the story. I just wanted to see what the big bone looked like, and this is interesting. It's like, this is goofy. I don't know how I feel about that. What does that feel like? It looks like that's out of control looking. I mean, if you were to drop an electric guitar down a staircase, I feel like that would sound the way this looks growing out of this boy's back. I guess I just thought it would look more like Daniel Radcliffe did in that one movie about him having horns. Who knows what it's called. Recently, doctors in the UK surgically removed a 14-centimeter long dragon horn from a man's lower back. The 50-year-old patient reported that it had been growing for the last 3 years. 3 years in that's a big old amount of progress for 3 years. You could probably watch that shit and get big. The doctors determined that the gigantic skin growth was a cutaneous squamous cell carcinoma, a type of skin cancer that causes growing, scaly bumps on the top layer of the skin. While SCC is a very common type of skin cancer, the man's case is rare. The doctors report in the journal BMJ case reports this week. Such lesions are typically caught much earlier, but in this case, doctors found an extremely large, well-differentiated SCC that was neglected by a patient, even though he was living in a developed country with access to free healthcare. I mean, it's kind of scary, I imagine. I'm uncomfortable for him. I just want this man to find love. Next story. I haven't read the whole headline yet. I did peek because there are certain words that caught my little brain and said, pay attention to me, and I am bristling with anticipation at this point. Let's dive in. This is a story from thefader.com. Ashnikko would masturbate to Thai dollar sign singing pee-pee, poo-poo, diarrhea. That's a real headline. That's real. I ain't got no legs to yank, folks. This is real. The rapper behind the TikTok hit Stupid graphically details her favorite songs for an intimate, personal workout. Dude, rock solid description. Ashnikko's never compromised on saying what's on her mind, whether it's in music or in conversation. Stupid, her collaboration with young baby Tate, went viral last year. Hundreds of thousands of users filmed themselves lip-syncing to a clip of Ashnikko's, what a wild name, devilishly, guys, just stick to like 3 syllables or else I'm gonna throw up out my mouth hole. Devilishly proclaiming her status as the ultimate unholy fantasy. In that vein, we asked Ashnikko, I'm not sure I'm saying it right. I'm not sure. I'm super concerned about it. So we're gonna press on. In that vein, we asked Ashnikko to give us her 5 favorite songs to masturbate to. You asked that to you asked that? Y'all felt like that was fine? You wanted to ask that? Why would you? Hey, we don't judge. However, peculiar approach to break the ice. Not sold on it. Different strokes. We asked her to give us her favorite songs to masturbate to in this week's edition. The top 5, Ty Dolla $ign, Young Thug, and System of a Down all make the cut. Ashnikko reveals how she knows when a song is perfect for that perfect time, when it compels her to film herself dancing. Check it out above, y'all. Nah. This is the kind of stuff that's gonna be what Gen Z makes fun of millennials for. You know, we're not open-minded enough about I'm not even sure what I'm doing wrong here, but I know that I ain't doing it right, so there's something to make fun of, I guarantee it. Moving on. Grimes and Elon Musk are having a baby. That's super duper. Let's find something else to talk about, because I don't give a fuck. All right. Man accused of dousing woman with ranch during dispute. Man accused of dousing woman with ranch dressing during dispute. What was the goal there? Like, what do you expect the outcome to be in a perfect world? You're just gonna turn into some iceberg lettuce and then disappear? Nuh-uh, sir, you still got a problem no matter how much ranch dressing you have. A 53-year-old man, Racine, Racine? A man is accused of threatening a woman and dousing her in ranch during a dispute. According to a criminal complaint on July 30, the victim called police to report Maurice Thomas was at her home located off Osborne Boulevard, threatening to smash her face. Maybe he just wanted to play Super Smash Brothers. We can't really let that be evidence. The complaint says Thomas grabbed the victim by her throat and pushed her against a dining room wall. That, however, is evidence. That's a problem. You got to start handling things with words, otherwise you kind of lose the ability to fix the issue. Because now the issue is grabbing a throat. That's really at the root of the problem. Investigators say during the altercation, Thomas grabbed a bottle of ranch dressing from the table and began chasing the victim around, squirting the ranch dressing at her before throwing the entire bottle at her direction. The victim was hit in the chest with the ranch, and authorities say that's when she yelled for another person in the home to call police. See, we had this issue on our Patreon where we discovered a story about a guy throwing a Pop-Tart, using a Pop-Tart as a weapon against his wife, Pop-Tart abuser. Turns out, not about the Pop-Tart, more about the fact that he beat his wife. That's the issue, folks. A failure in journalism all the way down. This is CBS58.com. And they aren't doing a great job of talking about the issue at hand, which is this man isn't just a cute salad slinger. He is a jackass. And that's really at the root of the problem there, what we need to discuss, not necessarily the food stuff being used in the altercation. When authorities arrived, the victim was covered in ranch from her waist to her head. Imagine the horror of focusing on ranch instead of the fact that her husband tried to murder her and just happened to have a ranch bottle nearby. That's the issue. Folks, focus on the problem. This ain't it. According to the criminal complaint, ranch dressing was sprayed across the entire room, including the walls, floor, entryway, and table. Thomas has been charged with stalking, burglary, and misdemeanor bail jumping. None of those charges have anything to do with his salad. Ooh, shit, this one caught the eyeball. All right, astrophysicist says he knows how to build a time machine. This is straight from futurism.com. I can trust that, I'm sure of it. Listen to how cool it sounds. Super science. Let's get into this. Okay. Astrophysicist Ron Millet, not important. Mallet believes he's found a way to travel back in time. Theoretically. That's the keyword. That's like the difference between beat someone to death and beat someone half to death. You gotta focus on the keyword, and one of them is a bigger crime than the other. We're not gonna do either. The tenured University of Connecticut physics professor recently told CNN that he's written a scientific equation that could serve as the foundation for an actual time machine. Awesome. He's even built a prototype device to illustrate a key component of his theory. Though Mallet's peers remain unconvinced his time machine will ever come to fruition. That's cute of you, Mallet, but I have a feeling we're just going to laugh. To understand Mallet's machine, you need to know the basics of Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity. Who doesn't? Which states that time accelerates or decelerates depending on the speed at which an object is moving. Okay, all right. That's interesting. Based on that theory, if a person was in a spaceship traveling near the speed of light, time would pass more slowly for them than it would for somebody who remained on Earth. Yes, I've heard of this. Moving on. Essentially, the astronaut could zip around space for less than a week, and when they returned to Earth, 10 years would have passed for the people they'd left behind, making it seem to the astronaut like they'd time travel to the future. That's horrifying. That's some interstellar shit right there. That wasn't a happy time. It sounded bad. Why would you opt into, well, you know, maybe I'd go back. No, I wouldn't. Time just gets worse no matter which direction you're going. But while most physicists accept that skipping forward in time in that way is probably possible, time traveling to the past is a whole nother issue, and one Mallet thinks he could solve using lasers. This isn't like special. Sorry, don't mean to diminish a scientific concept, because Lord knows I ain't got nothing better to present, but like, you can do a lot of things theoretically. Why give a shit? Even if his time machine does work, he admits it would have a severe limitation that would prevent anyone from, say, traveling back in time to kill baby Adolf Hitler. Okay, you can send information back. Huh? You can send information back, he told CNN. but you can only send it back to the point at which you turn the machine on. This is... Huh? How does that work? That's the part they didn't expand on. It just ends. It ends. The whole thing ends. That's more interesting than the rest of it. How does that work? Blue. They're both blue.
Surprise! It's the next day. Isn't that fun?
Thank you so much for coming to the second episode of the Offbeat. This is just a little reminder that it's not so bad to be you. At least you're not them. And that ultimately is probably a good thing, at least as far as I'm concerned, because it doesn't concern me. With that, we're gonna close our thing out with a Caboose story, which is just a headline that we do not discuss. We're gonna read the headline, digest that, understand that it happened, and move on without discussion, okay? Here's the kind of stuff that the mirror.co.uk is reporting. Girl's eyelashes ripped out after double-ended dildo hits her at Bongo's Bingo. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You can find the Patreon and all the sources linked down below in the description. You guys have a wonderful day now. Beat it.